Personality tests. We've all done them. We spend 10 minutes answering questions online with flattering answers to make yourself feel good, and then forget about it 5 minutes later. We as people enjoy having another person understands us. But what happens when a game understands you? In 2023, Japanese developer Rizadori released Refined Self, the personality test game. Not a game with a personality test, a game that is a personality test. Every action you take, how long you sit on a bench, which NPC you talk to first, feeds into an algorithm analyzing who you are. So how accurate is it? And does it deserve a chance? This is what I found in my experience with Define Self, the personality test game. We find ourselves in some kind of office with this classy robot. After telling him we have no idea who we are, he suggests playing a personality test game from 100 years ago. He also drops an important hint at the end. It should teach you what kind of a human you are, he says. From this we know at least we are human. We also get a warning that the time we spent to make an answer is taken into account. It even takes streaming and recording in mind. I chose yes. It seems this game was originally created by a doctor named Dr. Kusunoki to input personality into robots. The same doctor tells us through a computer message that we'll be taking control of a girl who is very important to her. We are free in our actions, but we are limited in time, with each decision affecting our personality. Let's play this game honestly and see what we can get at the end. You finally begin, and immediately the retro visual style stands out. It captures that distinctive Super Nintendo Game Boy look that I've always loved. We find ourselves near a lighthouse with a doll-like girl that has a spring in her back, looking sadly at her grave. The girl states that the doctor who we assume is her creator is dead, and now she is lost to what to do. Now the game opens up and you can do whatever you want. Firstly, you can check on objects, and we test this by examining the grave near us, which shows us that this game takes place in the 22nd century. We get a pop-up that says Adventurer +1. It seems triggering analysis is this game's way of figuring out your personality. The UI we have is divided by menu, number of coins, and a heart, which increases your progress with each action you take. Once analysis is 100% complete, the game will end. Problem is, you don't know which actions matter. Sitting on a bench for 30 seconds versus 5 seconds. Does that mean something? The game never explains its criteria, it just watches you. We come across a scrap digging cave, and after digging for a few scraps, we get back to the road. Maybe you can sell this for some money. After that we reach the beach, where I decided to name our protagonist Estelle. Now comes the important part, choices. These are what determines the personality in most quizzes, and this game is no different. Estelle mentions the promise between her and the doctor, and you get the option to remember where it was, or skim through it. I assume this is for people playing multiple times to get different results. I chose the first option obviously, since this is my first time playing the game. The promise was simple, whatever happens, Estelle and the doctor would find happiness together. Another computer message. It seems the doctor wants Estelle to have a proper human heart, and a personality to avoid unwanted conclusion. And the best way to do that is to act casually. Just do what you want. No matter how insignificant it may seem, that is what builds a person after all, and distinguishes from efficient machines. Moving on, we reach the town, and come across a house with a battery and two types of robots, a large one and two small ones. And it's up to you who you give the battery to. The battery seems to be the property of the large one, and it seems the other two wants to steal it. Now here comes the shocker. It seems both would die without it, so the theft kinda makes sense here. It's for survival after all. As for you, whoever you pick here there will be casualties. So you can either give it back to its proper owner and let the other two die, or sacrifice him so they can live, or get rid of the battery altogether. I did not expect such a heavy weight from the get-go. All choices will make me feel terrible, but if it was up to me, I would go by the numbers and give it to the little ones. I feel bad for the big one, but hey, at least we got a golden scar for it. On to the next one. We find a girl named Kokoro who seems very similar to Estelle. Maybe she is a doctor's creation too? She asks us something puzzling but curious. Does Estelle think the doctor is dead? If you open the inventory, you'll find a letter that she left for you promising to meet 100 years later. Now that can't be possible, unless she plans on coming back to life somehow. Kokoro throws another choice our way of helping her draw and painted sheep, so we oblige and she thanks you for the help. I thought that would be the end of it, but nope. We get a mini game of you actually painting the sheep. Neat. We get 5 coins for our trouble, and it seems Estelle can smile right now. It's a bit surprising. After that, we see our reflection in the mirror nearby and get a few choices. Since I'm lost right now, I pick the second choice, and Estelle answers by stating that she should keep her promise and be happy, like the doctor told her to. Next to Kokoro's house, we find a traffic light, and get the choices of thanking it, complaining about waiting for the lights to pass every time, or trying to talk to it. I picked the second choice since I assumed complaining is all I'm going to do, but oh no, to my surprise, Estelle ends up destroying the traffic light. This isn't what I wanted? Great, guess I'm a vandal now. Onto the next station, we find the recycle section, and get the chance to trade our scraps for cash. I am rich now. We spend the rest of the game visiting various people and building up your personality by answering simple questions and requests, with the occasional shocking factor thrown at you. For example, we find the ladder robot who says the doctor entrusted him to serve you, but he'll die once he does the job. He may be a robot, but I can do that. I mean, I'm a robot too. If I can't respect the lives of other robots, what makes mine any different? We buy a ramen next, and that makes Estelle pretty happy. Food is the ticket to happiness after all. She gets nostalgic about the times she used to eat with the doctor. We come across a cat on the road, and this turns Estelle's face into a funny shape. She talks to it like any regular girl would do. Near the cat, there is a beggar robot, so we give him 5 coins. Even robots can be homeless in this world, huh? Up until this point, I noticed something strange. There are no humans around. The only ones you see are from flashbacks, and the only residents of this island are robots. This suggests that this takes place in a post-apocalyptic world, where humans may have gone extinct. In the other side, we find the crow drone. It seems the doctor told us to kill this. I'm not a big fan of crows, but unless they come looking for trouble, it's better to let them be. On the far left, we come across a huge tree with a shepherd called Inori, and a few sheep inside. She says there are 3 sheep aside from the ones in here, and if we pet them, she'll give us money. Now this may seem like a normal request now, but later, you just find out how important these sheep are to our story. Now let's move to the city that always rains. From the posters scattered around, it seemed people hated robots for stealing their jobs. It's kinda surreal when we are having the same problem nowadays with the advancements made with AI. We go to the coffee shop where we used to attend with the doctor and find Doll, the clerk. Kind of a terrible name to give someone. After talking to her for a while, it's actually the perfect name for her. It seems Doll is another of Doctor's creations that turned out lazy due to a misconfiguration. We decided to help her with the customers. Time for another minigame. You just have to give the customers the coffee they want. Very simple, right? Except there are a few times where you just have to guess what that is. It's a matter of luck. Still, I got analysis points and 62 coins out of that. So I say this visit was worth it. Thanks, doll. You turned out to be the most relatable character in this game. Going left, we find the doctor's lab. Use the elevator and get a flashback of Estelle asking the doctor about her purpose. And it seems the doctor simply wanted a friend. Looks like the doctor didn't have any human friends, so she made one. It seems she was bullied as a child for having white hair, and she grew distrustful of other people. But she doesn't regret her decisions, so despite it all, she is happy with her current life. Once the flashback is over, we find a familiar face. It's the guy from the opening. It seems he was a robot called the Manager type, who kind of breaks the fourth wall and mentions us playing this game. He did say he modified the game a bit in the intro. In the nearby computer, we get the option to check our personality now. By a pass, we're close to the end anyway. Nearby, there is a photo of you and the doctor, when we can finally see her face. She seems pretty young here. Just how much time has passed since this was taken? We move on to the second floor and see another flashback of Dr. Kusunoki. Looks like people outside the island wanted her to destroy all her emotional AIs, simply because someone stole her research, and now it has caused problems abroad and the masses want someone to take responsibility. So, they want to paint the doctor as the black sheep and have her take all the blame. We're near the end now. You get the option to delay our progress by 50% to explore more, but I want this one to be completely normal, so I decline. In the final floor, we find a bookshelf explaining what EAIs are and how they act on emotions rather than a specific mission like a regular AI does. These EAIs were made with the purpose of not being fully controlled by humans to make them more human-like. The next room reveals the final flashback of Estelle, asking why the doctor cares about an old model like her when she has made far newer ones, and the doctor simply answers, "Because you were my first friend." And that's a very understandable sentiment. Our first friends are special and remain in our memory for a very long time. Once the heart is full, we get one last choice before the results, and we pick the first one. We must keep our promise to the doctor. What happens next left me speechless. Estelle casually slays 3 sheep and goes back to the shepherd from before. I have no idea why destroying these sheep is related to keeping the promise, but we have triggered a fight scene with Inori. I didn't even know this game had a battle mechanism. How do you go from building your personality by talking to others to this? Anyway, you're faced with multiple choices. To attack, try again, repair, strengthen your attack or defense, observe, and house self. We chose observe and find out that Inori's mission is to protect the sheep and carry out the doctor's plan. What plan? Choosing the house self option, we found out what Estelle really wants to do. She wants to stop the doctor from being reborn in 100 years' time. What? Why? Leaving that aside, for now we must win. It's actually pretty easy to deal with Inori in this fight. Just focus on boosting defense and recovery, and once her attacks start hitting you for 0 damage, boost your attack and destroy her. Although, it seems stats are related to what kind of personality you've built to this point, so it may be different to other people who play through this. Once that is over, Estelle finally has a peaceful expression on her face, telling the doctor not to resent her, since she feels this is the right outcome. Now, before we see the personality results, let's try answering some questions that left me curious. So what actually happened? Why are the sheep so important it made protecting them a priority for the doctor, and why would Estelle kill them if that was the case? Let's go back to the beginning. From the start, the doctor left Estelle a letter apologizing for dying and leaving her behind. But somehow, he assures her that she has found a way they can get back together in 100 years' time, and the key is in the sheep. The doctor plans to clone herself using gene preservation, and has stored her DNA in the sheep and made Inori to keep them safe. But Dr. Kusunoki made a miscalculation, and that is the fact that Estelle would gain emotions that far surpasses her expectations. You see, even if the Doctor regenerates in 100 years' time, her memories aren't coming back. The entire time, the game has been teaching us that a personality is made by the actions we do. The clone will have none of the traits the old Doctor had. Even if she is the same physically, she will be a complete different person. That is the conclusion Estelle has reached. So, to save her precious Doctor from committing a taboo, she decided to ruin her plan and get rid of the ship. After all, the Doctor is an irreplaceable existence in her heart that a clone cannot simply hope to match. I found it funny that in the end, the creation somehow ended up with more emotions and understanding of ethics than her own creator. Still, there is one more question left to answer. Did Estelle really succeed in stopping the Doctor from regenerating? When you start the game, it is stated that you are a human with no memories, and this game takes place 100 years ago. Could it be? Another computer report. From how this report feels about Estelle and humans, it is fair to say that the Doctor is the one who is writing this. Now, it's finally time to export our personality. And the result that I got is the philosopher, a perfectionist who always stops at a decision to consider it until satisfied. I'd say this is pretty accurate. I mean, the analysis we just did proves it. I'm pretty satisfied with this outcome. For a game so simple and short, it was pretty enlightening. I began to care about Estelle and Dr. Kusunoki. And while I think there are a few different results you can get, like actually supporting the Doctor's plan, this is a video about me reflecting on my experience in the game. Things might be different for you. So if you're curious about the game, it's on promotion for $3 until the new year, so be sure to play it for yourself. And if you do, be sure to let me know how things went in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.